In a world where understanding the opposite sex often feels like deciphering a complex code, Carl Jung stepped into the spotlight with insights that could have changed the game. Imagine this: a brilliant mind, delving into the depths of the female psyche, revealing truths that resonate even today. Yet despite his profound revelations, his messages seem to vanish into thin air, falling on deaf ears. Why is that? Picture men, eager for connection, but blinded by societal expectations and misunderstandings. Jung's confessions about women were like breadcrumbs, leading to a hidden treasure of understanding. But many chose to ignore them, trapped in their own narratives. What if they had listened? What if they had embraced his wisdom? As we dive deeper, consider this. How often do we overlook valuable insights simply because they challenge our comfort zones? Jung's words weren't just theoretical musings. They were a call to action, a call to truly understand the complexities of women. So what can we learn from this, and how can we break the cycle of silence that surrounded his confessions? Stay tuned as we unravel this intriguing tapestry of psychology and human connection. The shadow theory. The concept of the shadow, as posited by Carl Jung, plays a crucial role in understanding the male psyche. Essentially, the shadow consists of the traits and emotions that men often suppress or deny, usually because they are deemed unacceptable by societal standards. This hidden aspect of personality can lead to misunderstandings and miscommunications in relationships, especially when it comes to connecting with women. When men fail to acknowledge their shadow, they may project these unrecognized qualities onto others, often leading to conflict or distance in relationships. By confronting and integrating their shadow, men can cultivate greater self-awareness and emotional intelligence. Understanding the shadow can significantly improve a man's ability to engage with women. For one, acknowledging this hidden side allows for a more authentic self-presentation. When men embrace their vulnerabilities, they become more relatable and open, making it easier for women to connect with them on a deeper level. This self-acceptance can lead to healthier interactions, as both parties feel safe to express their true selves without fear of judgment. Additionally, recognizing the shadow can help men understand their reactions to women, reducing the likelihood of projecting their insecurities onto them. Moreover, the process of integrating the shadow can lead to personal growth. Men who take the time to explore their inner landscapes often find themselves more empathetic and understanding. This newfound emotional depth can enhance not only romantic relationships, but also friendships and familial connections. As men become more comfortable with their shadow, they often experience a greater sense of balance in their lives, enabling them to approach relationships with a sense of equality and respect. The journey into the shadow may be challenging, but the rewards in terms of relationship dynamics are invaluable. In a world where emotional expression is often discouraged, the shadow serves as a reminder of the importance of vulnerability. Men who understand and embrace their shadow can break free from the rigid confines of traditional masculinity. This shift allows them to engage more openly with women, fostering a climate of mutual understanding and respect. Men who navigate their shadows often find themselves better equipped to handle complex emotional situations, ultimately creating healthier relational patterns. The journey of understanding the shadow is ongoing. As men continue to explore this aspect of their psyche, they may uncover layers of emotional depth that were previously hidden. This exploration not only aids in personal development, but also enhances the quality of their relationships with women. When men make an effort to understand their shadow, they create space for a more profound connection, characterized by honesty, empathy, and mutual respect. Anima and animus. The anima and animus represent the inner feminine and masculine aspects within each individual respectively. For men, the anima embodies qualities often associated with femininity, such as intuition, emotion, and nurturing. Understanding this dynamic is essential for men as it influences how they perceive and interact with women. By recognizing their anima, men can tap into a more holistic approach to relationships, allowing them to appreciate and value the qualities that women bring to the table. When men neglect their anima, they may struggle to connect with women on an emotional level. This disconnect often leads to misunderstandings and a lack of empathy in relationships. By integrating the anima into their conscious awareness, men can foster deeper emotional intimacy with their partners. This connection not only enriches romantic relationships, but also enhances friendships and familial ties, as men become more attuned to the emotional needs of those around them. Furthermore, the interplay of anima and animus can create a more balanced perspective on gender roles. When men embrace their inner feminine qualities, they challenge traditional notions of masculinity that often prioritize stoicism and emotional suppression. This shift allows for a more inclusive understanding of gender, where both men and women can express a full range of emotions and traits without fear of judgment. In turn, this creates healthier relational dynamics, where both parties feel valued and respected. As men explore their anima, they may also discover the importance of vulnerability. Embracing the feminine aspects of their psyche encourages men to express their feelings openly, fostering a culture of communication within relationships. This openness can lead to stronger bonds, as both partners feel safe to share their thoughts and emotions. The dynamic between anima and animus thus becomes a vital element in cultivating meaningful connections, where authenticity and understanding take precedence over societal expectations. In summary, the relationship between anima and animus profoundly impacts how men relate to women. By recognizing and integrating these inner aspects, men can enhance their emotional intelligence and foster healthier, more balanced relationships. This journey not only benefits individual men, but also contributes to a broader cultural shift towards greater acceptance of emotional expression and vulnerability across gender lines. Psychological complexes. Psychological complexes are unresolved issues that can significantly impact how men interact with women. These complexes often stem from past experiences, particularly those related to family dynamics, societal expectations, or personal trauma. When left unaddressed, they can manifest in ways that hinder effective communication and emotional connection. For example, a man who harbors a complex related to inadequacy may find it challenging to express vulnerability, fearing judgment or rejection from women. The presence of unresolved complexes can create barriers to intimacy. Men may unconsciously project their fears or insecurities onto their partners, leading to misunderstandings and conflict. This projection often results in a defensive stance, where men feel the need to protect their self-image instead of engaging authentically. By recognizing and working through these psychological complexes, men can break free from these limiting patterns and cultivate healthier relationships. Moreover, the process of addressing psychological complexes can lead to significant personal growth. Men who take the time to explore their emotional landscapes often find themselves more capable of empathy and understanding. This emotional depth not only enriches their relationships with women, but also enhances their overall quality of life. As men navigate their complexes, they may discover that vulnerability is not a weakness, but rather a strength that fosters connection and intimacy. In relationships, addressing psychological complexes can lead to more open and honest communication. When men feel secure enough to express their vulnerabilities, it creates an environment where women can do the same. This mutual exchange of feelings can strengthen the bond between partners, fostering a sense of safety and trust. Ultimately, the journey of understanding and resolving psychological complexes can pave the way for more fulfilling and meaningful connections. In conclusion, psychological complexes play a significant role in shaping how men interact with women. By recognizing and addressing these unresolved issues, men can enhance their emotional intelligence and foster healthier relational dynamics. This journey not only benefits individual men, but also contributes to the overall quality of relationships between genders, leading to greater understanding and connection. Projection. Projection is a psychological defense mechanism that often complicates communication between men and women. It occurs when individuals attribute their own feelings, insecurities, or fears to others. For men, this can manifest as projecting their worries about inadequacy onto women, leading to misunderstandings and conflict. When men fail to recognize their projections, they may unfairly criticize or blame their partners for feelings that stem from their own internal struggles. This tendency to project can create significant barriers to honest communication. When men project their insecurities, they may become defensive or dismissive, making it challenging for women to express their thoughts and feelings openly. This dynamic can lead to a cycle of misunderstanding, where both partners feel unheard and invalidated. By acknowledging and addressing their projections, men can foster a more open and honest dialogue in their relationships. Furthermore, understanding projection can enhance emotional intelligence. Men who recognize their projections can begin to take responsibility for their feelings, rather than placing the burden on their partners. This shift of perspective allows for healthier interactions, where both parties can engage authentically without the weight of unacknowledged fears. By fostering an environment of mutual respect and understanding, men can create space for deeper emotional connections. The journey of overcoming projection requires self-awareness and vulnerability. Men must be willing to examine their internal landscape and confront the fears that drive their projections. This process may be uncomfortable, but it can lead to significant personal growth. As men learn to communicate their feelings more openly, they create opportunities for women to do the same, fostering a culture of empathy and understanding in their relationships. In summary, projection can complicate communication between men and women, often leading to misunderstandings and conflict. By recognizing and addressing their projections, men can enhance their emotional intelligence and foster healthier relational dynamics. This journey not only benefits individual men, but also contributes to the overall quality of relationships, paving the way for more meaningful connections. Collective unconscious. The concept of the collective unconscious, introduced by Carl Jung, suggests that there are shared images and archetypes that transcend individual experiences. For men, these archetypes shape their perceptions of women and their own masculinity. Think of the archetypes like a universal language. They influence how men interpret their relationships and roles in society. For instance, the archetype of the hero often pushes men to see themselves as protectors or providers, which can create unrealistic expectations in their interactions with women. Moreover, the collective unconscious is not just a passive backdrop. It actively shapes behaviors and attitudes. When men encounter women, they might unconsciously draw on these archetypes, which can lead to misunderstandings. For example, a man might see a woman in a nurturing role, influenced by the archetype of the mother, potentially sidelining her individuality. This can create tension, as the woman may feel pigeonholed or misunderstood, leading to a disconnect in their relationship. Additionally, these archetypal images come from cultural narratives, myths, and stories that have been passed down through generations. They carry with them societal expectations and norms that can both empower and restrict men. When a man feels he must embody a certain archetype to be considered masculine, he may struggle with his identity, especially in a world where definitions of masculinity are rapidly evolving. This internal conflict can affect how he perceives women, often viewing them through a lens that may not reflect their true selves. As men navigate their identities, being aware of these archetypes can be enlightening. Recognizing that these images can distort their views of women allows men to approach relationships with more openness. Instead of reacting based on preconceived notions, they can engage with women as complex individuals. This shift requires a willingness to confront deeply ingrained beliefs, but doing so can pave the way for healthier interactions. Ultimately, the collective unconscious serves as both a guide and a challenge for men. Understanding its influence can help men break free from limiting stereotypes and foster more authentic relationships with women. By embracing a broader view of masculinity that includes vulnerability and emotional depth, men can engage in meaningful connections that enrich both their lives and those of the women around them. Development of masculinity. The development of masculinity is a complex journey shaped by cultural expectations and personal experiences. Men today are faced with a unique set of challenges as they attempt to navigate traditional notions of masculinity while also adapting to modern standards. The pressure to conform to outdated ideals can lead to confusion and frustration, particularly when these ideals conflict with contemporary values promoting equality and emotional openness. As men seek to define their masculinity, they often grapple with the expectations set by society. Many men feel compelled to embody traits like strength, stoicism, and dominance, which can be limiting. For instance, a man might feel that showing vulnerability or seeking help is a sign of weakness, leading him to suppress his emotions. This suppression not only harms his mental health, but also affects his relationships with women, who may perceive him as distant or unapproachable. Moreover, the evolving landscape of gender roles complicates matters further. With the rise of feminist movements and discussions around gender equality, men are encouraged to rethink their roles in relationships. This shift can be daunting. Some men may resist change, clinging to traditional definitions of masculinity as a way to maintain control. This resistance can create friction in relationships, as women may seek partners who are more aligned with contemporary values of equity and emotional intelligence. On the flip side, many men are embracing a healthier version of masculinity that includes empathy, communication, and collaboration. This shift allows for deeper connections with women, as men learn to express their feelings and listen actively. By developing a more inclusive understanding of masculinity, men can foster relationships built on mutual respect and understanding, ultimately enriching their lives and those of their partners. In conclusion, the development of masculinity is an ongoing process that requires reflection and adaptability. As men confront societal expectations and their own beliefs, they have the opportunity to redefine what it means to be masculine. By embracing vulnerability and emotional intelligence, men can build meaningful relationships with women, creating a more balanced and fulfilling dynamic. Interpersonal relationships. Interpersonal relationships play a crucial role in shaping men's identities, particularly in how they perceive and interact with women. These connections serve as mirrors, reflecting not only personal values, but also societal norms. For many men, the relationships they cultivate with family, friends, and romantic partners significantly influence their understanding of masculinity and femininity. In family settings, men often internalize lessons about gender roles from their parents and siblings. A boy who witnesses his father expressing emotions may grow up with a more nuanced understanding of masculinity, while another who sees only stoicism may feel pressured to conform to that ideal. These early experiences shape how men view women, often determining whether they approach relationships with openness or defensiveness. Friendship dynamics also play a pivotal role in shaping men's perspectives. Male friendships can provide a safe space for men to explore their identities and share vulnerabilities, or they can reinforce toxic masculinity. When men engage in meaningful conversations with friends about relationships and emotions, they can develop a healthier understanding of how to relate to women. Conversely, if their friendships are built on silence and competition, they may struggle to connect with women on a deeper level. Romantic relationships further complicate the landscape of men's identities. As men navigate the complexities of love and partnership, they often confront their own insecurities and fears. This can lead to growth as men learn to communicate openly and express their needs. Or it can result in conflict if they struggle to reconcile their desires with societal expectations. The dynamics within these relationships can significantly impact men's views of women, often either fostering respect and admiration or breeding misunderstanding and resentment. Ultimately, the quality of interpersonal relationships plays a vital role in shaping how men perceive women and themselves. By fostering connections that prioritize communication, empathy, and vulnerability, men can develop a more balanced understanding of gender dynamics. This shift enhances not only their relationships with women, but also their overall sense of identity and belonging in a rapidly changing world. Cultural and societal influences. Cultural and societal norms play a pivotal role in shaping how men perceive and interact with women. From a young age, boys are often bombarded with messages about what it means to be masculine. These messages come from various sources, including family, media, and peer groups, all of which contribute to a narrow understanding of masculinity that can be detrimental to their relationships with women. The ideals of strength, stoicism, and dominance can overshadow the more nuanced aspects of human interaction, leading to misunderstandings and disconnection. Moreover, societal expectations often dictate that men should be the providers and protectors, reinforcing a power dynamic that can alienate them from their emotional selves. This conditioning can create barriers to genuine communication, as men may feel pressured to uphold a facade of invulnerability. When societal norms discourage emotional expression, it becomes increasingly difficult for men to connect with women on a deeper level, as they may struggle to articulate their thoughts and feelings. In addition, the portrayal of women in media and popular culture shapes men's perceptions significantly. Often, women are depicted in ways that reinforce stereotypes, which can lead to unrealistic expectations in real-life interactions. These representations can create a divide, as men may unconsciously adopt these stereotypes, limiting their ability to see women as individuals with unique experiences and perspectives. This cycle of perception and representation can perpetuate misunderstandings and foster resentment in relationships. The impact of culture extends beyond just individual perceptions. It also influences group dynamics. Men often find themselves in social settings where their views on women are echoed and reinforced by their peers. This camaraderie can create an echo chamber that discourages critical thinking and self-reflection regarding gender dynamics. Consequently, men may internalize harmful beliefs that further complicate their interactions with women, resulting in a cycle of misunderstanding and conflict. Finally, redefining cultural narratives around masculinity can be an essential step toward healthier interactions with women. By challenging traditional norms and encouraging more emotional openness, societies can create environments where men feel free to express vulnerability. As men begin to understand the influence of culture on their behaviors, they can foster relationships built on mutual respect, empathy, and understanding. Popular: empathy and understanding. Developing empathy is crucial for men who wish to comprehend women's experiences more fully. Empathy allows individuals to step into another person's shoes and understand their feelings, thoughts, and motivations. For men, cultivating this skill can significantly enhance their interactions with women, leading to more meaningful connections. When men practice empathy, they begin to dismantle the barriers that often hinder open communication, creating a safe space for both parties to express themselves. Moreover, understanding the challenges women face in society is vital for fostering empathy. Women's experiences with discrimination, objectification, and societal pressure can be vastly different from men's. When men take the time to educate themselves about these issues, they can approach conversations with a greater sense of awareness and sensitivity. This understanding not only benefits individual relationships, but can also contribute to a broader cultural shift toward gender equality. Additionally, empathy can help to bridge the communication gap between genders. Men often communicate differently than women, sometimes leading to misunderstandings. By developing the ability to empathize, men can adjust their communication styles to be more inclusive and attuned to women's needs. This adaptability can lead to more productive discussions as both parties feel heard and valued. Furthermore, empathetic men are more likely to challenge harmful stereotypes and behaviors among their peers. When they model empathy in their relationships, they set an example for others to follow. This ripple effect can contribute to a cultural shift, where empathy and understanding become the norms rather than exceptions. As more men embrace this approach, the potential for healthier and more equitable relationships increases significantly. Ultimately, fostering empathy and understanding is not just beneficial for men, it enriches the lives of women as well. As men become more attuned to the experiences and emotions of women, they build stronger, more resilient relationships. This transformation can lead to a more harmonious society, where both genders work together to create a culture of respect and mutual understanding. Access to vulnerability. The topic of vulnerability often evokes discomfort for many men, primarily due to societal conditioning that equates vulnerability with weakness. This resistance can have significant implications for relationships, particularly with women. When men struggle to access their vulnerability, they may miss opportunities for deep emotional connections, ultimately hindering their ability to communicate openly and honestly. This barrier can lead to misunderstandings and unfulfilled expectations in relationships. Moreover, the reluctance to show vulnerability can create a facade of invulnerability, where men feel compelled to project strength at all times. This mask can alienate their partners, who may perceive them as emotionally distant or unapproachable. When women encounter this wall, it becomes challenging to foster intimacy, as vulnerability is often a cornerstone of deep emotional bonds. Without it, relationships may feel superficial or transactional, lacking the richness that comes from authentic connection. Additionally, the fear of judgment can deter men from expressing vulnerability. Many men worry about being criticized or viewed as less masculine if they reveal their emotions. This fear can create a cycle where men suppress their feelings, leading to increased stress and emotional turmoil. As a result, unresolved emotions can manifest in unhealthy ways, such as anger or withdrawal, further complicating relationships with women. On the other hand, when men make the conscious effort to embrace vulnerability, they open the door to deeper understanding and connection. Sharing fears, insecurities, and emotional struggles can foster a sense of safety in relationships, allowing both partners to be more authentic. This openness can encourage women to share their experiences as well, creating a reciprocal environment of trust and support. Ultimately, accessing vulnerability is not just about individual growth. It can transform relationships. As men learn to express their emotions and show their authentic selves, they pave the way for richer, more fulfilling connections with women. This journey toward vulnerability can lead to healthier relationships, characterized by mutual respect, understanding, and emotional intimacy. And there you have it. Carl Jung's insights into the complexities of women might have resonated with many, but sadly, they often went unheard. Isn't it fascinating how his profound observations still seem to slip through the cracks of modern conversations? Think about it. How many times have we dismissed the emotional depth and intricacies that Jung passionately highlighted? Let's pause for a moment. Have you ever felt like your thoughts on relationships are falling on deaf ears? What if the key to understanding each other lies in really listening to these age-old lessons? Jung believed that the inner world of women is a treasure trove of insights, yet so many men miss that opportunity. So what can we do differently? How can we bridge this communication gap? Imagine the conversations we could unlock if we approach them with Jung's wisdom in mind. I want to hear from you. Have you experienced moments where you felt misunderstood? How can we apply Jung's teachings to our lives today? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. It's time to start a dialogue. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more mind-expanding content. Let's keep this conversation going.